Infiltrating the Syrian elite. By 1962, Eli Cohen, under the identity of Kamel Amin Thabet, had established himself as a wealthy, charismatic and deeply patriotic Syrian businessman in Damascus. But he was much more than that. He was a regular guest at military briefings, a confidant of top-ranking officers, a friend to cabinet ministers and Ba'ath Party leaders. They trusted him because he knew what to say, when to say it, and how to blend into the rising tide of Syrian nationalism. Playing every side. Eli didn't just collect scraps of information, he influenced policy. He advised officers on where to place outposts in the Golan Heights, visited military sites as a patriotic investor, and asked innocent-sounding questions that gave away key military secrets. Every night he used a hidden radio transmitter to send coordinates of missile bases, troop movements, defense plans, names of rising officers back to Tel Aviv, encoded Morse signals, often from the bedroom of his Damascus apartment. The brilliant Golan Bluff, perhaps his most legendary achievement. He convinced Syrian engineers to plant trees and shade covers next to their artillery positions in the Golan Heights. To protect the soldiers from the sun, he said. Years later, during the Six-Day War, Israeli jets used those trees as targeting markers, neutralizing Syrian positions in hours. A quiet suggestion by a spy had helped turn the tide of a future war. The man who was everywhere. By 1964, Cohen had become so trusted that he was offered the position of Deputy Minister of Defense. He was invited on tours of secret fortifications. He joined military exercises near the Israeli border. In one photograph taken by Syrian officers, Cohen is seen wearing a Syrian officer's uniform, standing meters away from the Israeli frontier, smiling. And still, no one suspected him. The Mossad was astonished. They had never had a source this deep inside a hostile government. He had become more than a spy. He was Syria's shadow minister and Israel's invisible asset. The fall begins, but the deeper he went, the more dangerous things became. Syrian intelligence began noticing unusual radio signals at night. They launched a counterintelligence sweep across Damascus. Soviet experts were brought in to detect hidden transmissions. Suspicion grew. Still, Cohen refused to leave. Even when Mossad warned him, he insisted, "Let me stay one more week. I still have valuable information to send." That week would cost him everything. January 1965. The signal that ended it all. In the early hours of January 24, 1965, Syrian agents triangulated a secret signal to an apartment in Damascus. They raided it. Inside, they found Eli Cohen mid-transmission, wearing headphones, clicking Morse code. He didn't resist. He didn't speak. He simply closed his eyes, as if he knew the story had reached its final chapter. Torture and trial. Eli Cohen was thrown into solitary confinement. He was interrogated for months, tortured, humiliated, and finally forced to confess. His captors were shocked to learn how deep he had gone, how much he had influenced their policies, how trusted he had become. In May 1965, a closed military trial was held. Despite international pleas, including from Pope Paul VI, France, the UK, and even humanitarian groups, the verdict was sealed. Execution, the end of a hero. On May 18, 1965, at dawn, Eli Cohen was taken to Martyrs Square in Damascus. He was hanged in public as thousands were forced to watch. Loudspeakers blared warnings to all would-be spies. His final letter to his wife read, "I do not regret what I have done. If I had another life, I would give it for Israel again." His body was never returned to Israel. His grave remains unknown. Legacy of Eli Cohen. But his legacy didn't die. His intelligence helped Israel win the Golan Heights in 1967. His name became synonymous with courage and sacrifice. Schools, streets, and documentaries were named after him. His story has been told in books, films, and Netflix's The Spy. To this day, Israeli leaders demand Syria return his remains. And every new generation learns his story. A story of bravery, deception, and ultimate sacrifice. He lived in the enemy's house, ate at their tables, slept in their beds, and gave Israel the eyes of a god inside the lion's den.